Liberalism and anarchy, it's not the same. Many conservative thinkers, political activists, politicians, they usually tend to confuse those two, because those two ideologies deal with freedom. But the type of freedom the anarchism and liberals are dealing with is totally different. For instance, anarchy is the kind of freedom that two men have when they are at loose, and the one with bigger muscles is more free than the other, because he will force the other to do everything he wants. As far as he encounters someone bigger and stronger than himself. Then the situation is, of course, everything is the other way around. The situation is opposite. But you can see this that some conservatives are arguing that, for instance, the Poland, that is Sarmatian Poland, the Polish aristocratic republic before the partitions of Poland. So I mean Poland in the 16th, 17th, 18th century. That was the country of freedom and therefore the country of liberalism. No, it wasn't the country of liberalism. It was a country of anarchy. Anarchy because the law was not exerted, the king was limited, everything was local, the aristocrats could do whatever they could, and whatever they wanted with the peasants, who were virtually slaves, because the feudal peasants, people were adscripti glebe, so they were just couldn't be separated from the ground and so on. There was not even the monetary relations between the peasant labor and the aristocrats introduced in Poland. So they were something like slaves, maybe not complete slaves, but almost slaves. The same was in Russia. And the conservatives always talked about this small influence of the state on the everyday life of the others, and they mistake it for liberty. And it's not liberty, because they were mistaking it for liberty because they think that the limitation itself of the state and its powers secure some kind of liberty. It's not the case. The real liberty is when the people, according, for instance, to Montesquieu, who was the most able to point it out, Montesquieu have presented the idea that liberty is the ability of doing everything which is not prohibited by the law. So you can even have relatively big number of rules you must obey, but you are aware of them. The number shouldn't be too big, because you must be able to comprehend all your limitations, all of what you can do and you cannot do. When this is secured, then it's freedom, then it's liberal state. In Polish aristocratic republic and in the Russia of the Tsars, there were very small governments, of course, but there also were virtually no laws, and nothing was obeyed by anyone. The aristocrats were the true owners of the state, and they could do whatever they wanted. And the fact that we had some sort of democracy and Russia has no democracy doesn't make any difference, because it's not so important. Liberalism and democracy are very often connected, because that's the tradition of the Western world. But doesn't have to be so. For instance, you have this Arab Spring, and you have the democratic electoral victory of Islamists, which are no liberals. So you can see that the army that suppressed them was not democratic, but they were more liberals, not so much anti-liberal than the Islamists, the democratic Islamists, I mean. So you can see that it's not the same. And Poland, of the Polish electoral kings and Poland of nobility and of the aristocratic republic was an anarchy, wasn't a country of liberty, wasn't a liberal country. The same is with Russia. Of course, it wasn't the influence of the Tsar on the everyday of particular Russian was very small, but it doesn't count, because the sort of dependence of one people on the local aristocrat, so big that it was the same, almost the same as totalitarian regime, but exerted by local power, not by central power. Don't mistake with central and local power with the lack or the presence of freedom or liberty.